This is a 10-foot Kevlar bullwhip. It is by far the most durable option I offer. And let me show you how I made it. I'm loading the core with extra BBs because Kevlar is much lighter than regular paracord. However, I still use regular paracord for the bellies. After I'm done braiding the 6-plat belly, I'll tie it off. I'll wrap a layer of hockey tape over the handle and transition. This will prevent the second belly braiding from slipping around. To make this second belly, I'm starting off with a 10-plat and just doing the simple herringbone braid. And I'm also making sure to braid very tightly at the transition since this is going to be a longer whip. The braiding will extend all the way to the 8-foot mark, and then after that, I'm going to twist the strands. I have to braid the Kevlar from the fall hitch all the way down to the handle. So doing this twist will just prevent me from having to deal with loose strands. I'll give the transition a little bit of a light bind, then I'll roll it to even out the tension, and with that, we're ready for the Kevlar overlay. To start the overlay, I have to remove these strands from the Kevlar paracord. Kevlar is really heat resistant, which means it doesn't melt, it just burns. So I have to start braiding at the end of the whip. I'll make an English eye-fall hitch and braid directly into 6-plat. As I make my way towards the handle, I'll add more strands, and eventually I'll end up in 16-plat. Then when I start braiding on the handle, I'll switch over to a 2-strand diamond plat, and I'll braid this as tightly as I can until there isn't a handle to braid on. And now that I got this overlay done, I'll get all this cleaned up and ready for the knots. It's time to get rid of this ugliness. But before I cut all those strands, I'm going to make sure that every strand is pulled tight. Then I'll cut those strands flush to the end of the handle. Then after that, I'm going to roll the whole whip. Then I'll cut the core that's sticking out of the end of the fall hitch and braid up a taper twisted fall. Lastly, all I have left to do is to just attach the fall to the whip. And that part is pretty simple. At this point, the whip is almost done. All we got to do is put the knots on it and wax it. I'm going to wax the whip today, so while I'm waiting for that to melt, I'm going to roll the heel knot out and make a foundation for the transition knot with some sinew. Then from there, it's just as simple as tying a base knot and then following your lead strand. At this point, the wax is at 200 degrees, so I'm going to set the whip in there until all the bubbles stop, and what we're left with is a finished Kevlar bullwhip. Fast cracking is quite a tricky thing to do with this kind of whip, but where a whip this long excels is the continuous flicks. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope to put out more long form videos as I get more orders.